moving on to Danny Verbov, who's our second speaker this afternoon. And I share with him that I'm born in Liverpool. I didn't grow up there. And I think we all share a lot of, he's shared his experiences before as a translator of many years. And we'll just go straight with that, Danny. You can add any other details or contextual matter that you prefer to put in.
Okay, thank you, Gillian. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me all right?
Great.
Great. Okay. So following on from Sophia, I must be honest and ethical and admit that I am a human being, as far as I know, and not AI generated. So any nonsense or bad wordplay that you're about to hear is mine alone, and I take full responsibility for anything you're about to hear. Okay, here he is, under your nose. Now, I'm sure all your wise people know what this part of the human anatomy is, just underneath one's nose. It's called a philtrum, or in medical parlance, an infranasal depression. And in Hebrew, the best I could find is kav ha'emtza b'safa ha'elyona. And for those specializing in Greek translation, maybe Sophia, the word philtrum comes from the Greek for to love and to kiss. So there you go. You've learned something already. It might be the only thing you do. I actually have a small scar on my philtrum from when my father, God bless him, allegedly pushed me out of my stroller, or my pram in proper English, when I was barely a year old. To comprehend the enormity of that tragedy, this is the perfect physical specimen I was before that unfortunate incident. Anyway, the Talmudic legend goes that an angel teaches us all the wisdom in the world while we're still in our mother's womb. Just before the unborn baby, us, comes out, the angel touches it between the upper lip and the nose, and the baby forgets all it has been taught. And the mark left by the angel is our philtrum. It is also the inspiration behind the popular children's game, Spot the Philtrum. So what does the philtrum actually do? Well, it allows us to express a much larger range of lip motions than would otherwise be possible, which enhances verbal and non-verbal communication. And I hear you ask, what has that got to do with marketing ourselves as translators? Well, everything really. Firstly, it reminds us that all the wisdom we need to know is already within us. We instinctively know what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. As Galileo said, you cannot teach a person anything. You can only help them to find it within themselves. And secondly, our entire lives and much of our translating lives are spent engaged in verbal and non-verbal communication. In short, our success as translators, and as human beings for that matter, depends on how much we can maximize the tools and skills each and every one of us already possesses, the tools that are right under our noses. Because whether we realize it or not, we're marketing ourselves every single day. People are judging us all the time by our clothing, by our hair, our weight, our jewelry, our makeup, posture, telephone manner, Zoom manner, you name it. And so we're in fact selling ourselves or not through any or all of these channels. Ein ma la'asot, nothing what to do. That is human nature. If you work away from home, meet your clients one-on-one, or actually attend the ITA conference in person, you're likely to pay particular attention to your physical appearance. Firstly, to feel good about yourself, and secondly, to create a positive visual impression. You'll put on your most fashionable dress or smartest trousers. Some people still polish their shoes. You'll make sure your hair's tidy. But if you're like me and spend most of your time working all day at home by yourself in front of a screen that probably judges you too, like now, for example, all you have to rely on is what you say how you say it, and how you sound in both your verbal and non-verbal communication. Which means, in my opinion, we should be taking extra special care, among other things, to work on 4 main areas. Firstly, to communicate clearly in good English, Hebrew, or any other language we use. Secondly, to adopt a confident, polished manner. Third, to maintain a sense of professionalism and service in all we do. And fourthly, to radiate a positive, enthusiastic personality. Whereas outside we're marketing ourselves with eye contact, body language, habits, and speech patterns, at home, or through email or WhatsApp or Slack or whatever we're using, we're marketing ourselves in print, in how we sound, with our work, our ethics, and this is the big one, I think, especially in the age of AI, our attitude. Not only what we say, but how we say it. Even though we may have the luxury of working in our pajamas, we don't have to sound as though we're half asleep. Many of us invest time, energy, and money in conventional marketing, if it's advertising, cold calling, email campaigns, LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever. I tried a lot of that when I started, but I came to the conclusion that these investments are worthless if I don't pay attention to things that matter to others even more. Keeping promises, punctuality, honesty, respect, gratitude, sincerity, feedback, initiative, reliability, passion, ability to listen. And that's all we're here to discuss today. My proposition is very simple and very obvious. So obvious, it's right under your nose. If we're professional, organized, efficient, competent, reliable, pleasant, generous, honest, if we're the best we can be, we will attract and nurture happier clients who will tell others about us. This is the power of word-of-mouth marketing. According to Nielsen, in its Global Trust in Advertising study, which surveyed 40,000 people across 56 countries, 88% of consumers said they trusted recommendations from people they know above all other forms of marketing messaging. How many of us have more than 1 or 2 clients who have come to you from word of mouth or from friends or colleagues? So if our goal is to attract clients and keep them, let's see how we can improve our own word of mouth marketing. First of all, we should do our own word of mouth. Makes very good sense just to tell or remind everyone we know what we do for a living. Family, friends, acquaintances, colleagues. You never know when they might need a translator. But before we talk of what comes out of our mouths, let's examine what goes into them. Think for a moment how you like to be served in a restaurant and how you don't. What do we expect when we go out to eat? Delicious food, super service, attentive waiters, genuine concern, smiling staff, and reasonable price and good value. Not asking too much. All pretty obvious, no? Right under your nose. Then why are so many restaurants mediocre? Why are so many things in our lives mediocre? Why are there so many mediocre translators? Possibly because these things are so obvious, they may have been taken for granted or ignored, or maybe lower standards have just become more common and acceptable. Or maybe it's because we think we can take shortcuts to success. We can't. Let's take an example from the Kafit restaurant at the Botanical Gardens in Jerusalem. I went to do some work there one morning, and that's another obvious tip. Sometimes it can do you a world of good just to get out and work in another location, away from the distractions of your home office. And all I had was a pen and a pad. Do you know what those are? Here's a reminder. Anyway, the location is beautiful, of course, but it's not enough if the rest of the experience is not up to speed. But at Kafit, it was. The food was good and tasty. The service was thoughtful, fast, and polite. The waiters were attentive, smiling, and listened carefully to my requests. I felt a genuine concern, not just the usual hakol beseder. The price was reasonable and they gave me added value. And of course, the ambiance was wonderful. And look, surprise, surprise, I'm giving them a dazzling sales pitch, advertising to millions on Zoom without them even asking or paying me. Quite a feat. Do clients expect anything different from us? What can we learn from Kafit? First of all, we can offer a good quality product. Again, really stating the obvious. The fare at Kafit was excellent, tasty, digestible portions and attractively presented. The bread was warm and fresh. If the food's no good, no one's going to eat there. And certainly no one will recommend your restaurant to their friends. Just the opposite. Because we all tell our friends about bad service far more than we praise good. Restaurant food must be tip-top, fresh, tasty, attractively presented, and clean. We don't want worms in the salad, no watery soup, no dirty glasses, and nothing too sour or spicy. We've all had painful dining experiences. Our food is our translation. It's what we serve our clients, and ultimately, it's what serves us. So how can we make it the best it can be? Again, we know this. It's so fundamental to who we are, but yet so commonly omitted or forgotten, even by experienced translators, me included, that it bears repeating again for the few minutes I have here. Is our translation well prepared? Have we been through it more than once? Have we double-checked names and titles? Have we used a dictionary, thesaurus, spell check, but not relied on any of them? Have we printed a hard copy to edit or given it to someone else to check? Have we slept on it if we have time, and then looked over it once more before delivery? If we've passed it on to a colleague, but we're the one who's passing it on to the client, have we checked it before delivery? And the same with AI, as we've just heard. Can we improve it? Have we checked it? I just had a case this morning. I asked AI to do the very simple translation of a hotel brochure, and I checked it, and he added, or he or she or whatever it is, added its own words. So I had to check it, and good I did so. Is it presentable and clean? Make sure we have no careless errors or omissions, clumsy phrases, no red squiggly lines, that we've used consistent fonts, sizes, bold headlines. Again, all right under our nose. Is it fresh and digestible? Is it a smooth, crisp read? Does it sound like a translation? Does it sound as though it's been generated by AI? Is it the right register? Have we used understandable words? Unless it's sociology, of course. Is it what the client ordered? Have we double-checked the original brief? Have we remembered any special requests? Did we have the right audience in mind? That's our product. But as we have said, all our communication is part of our marketing, not just our final translation product. And that means email and WhatsApp too. After all, they're probably our main channels of communication. So I would definitely recommend 6 right under your nose tips for writing emails and WhatsApps. Reread everything we send. Check for spelling, punctuation. Check that we deliver the messages we want it to deliver. Make sure that we understand it. If we don't understand it, then the client is probably not going to understand it. Is it clear? Can it be misconstrued? Have we used the recipient's name? And don't forget to attach the attachment.
Can I add number 7?
Sure.
Check who it's going to. That you have the right address, the email address.
Correct. Accepted. Because first impressions still do count.
It's actually number 5. The proper recipient's name.
Right.
Danny, may I ask a question?
Certainly, sir.
Was a period in the word punctuation and the slide inserted intentionally, or is just a typing error?
Intentionally, Igor. It's called British humor. Sorry, I apologize.
The singular L in spelling.
And spelling.
Correct. Yes, I apologize in advance, and I apologize again. I also think the more detail you can put in writing, the better. I would go as far as to say that it's the single most important factor in avoiding unpleasantness and misunderstanding down the line. And please ask to see the text first, and preferably the whole document. Then you can better assess your time and your costs and whether you can actually do the job. I had one client with whom I agreed on a fixed project fee for translating a book. I didn't know at the start that this would include numerous visits to the printer in Cholon or 3 extra chapters to the book. I naively assumed he would reimburse me. After much unpleasant communication, he eventually paid me a token amount for the extra work, but refused to reimburse me in any way for travel. Another important point here is how we appear to our colleagues. We're marketing ourselves with every posting to a forum, LinkedIn, wherever. There's plenty of giving and sharing in this profession, thank God, but if you're consistently writing sloppy, opinionated, careless postings, putting a period in punctuation, for example, and you're all take and no give, I'm not sure anyone will risk their reputation to pass a client on to you. So we must constantly and consistently serve good food to our clients. The second thing we can learn from Kafit is service. As soon as I appeared, a waitress welcomed me and offered me a choice of table. A menu materialized, and the manageress herself brought a glass, clean, and a stylish wine bottle filled with water. She also poured it for me. The waitress explained what some of the dishes were, listened attentively, and came back fast with my order. In contrast, we were at a place a few years ago where it took 10 minutes for a waitress to give us a menu. She praised the asparagus soup no end, and so we ordered 6. But another 10 minutes later, she came back telling us there was only 1 portion of asparagus left, and when we ordered the lentil alternative, it tasted like muddy water. So how can we offer the best service? Be fast. Great advantage in Israel, where everything is needed yesterday. Just remember to ask when the real deadline is, and that your speed should not come at the expense of accuracy and quality. You should also get to know how fast you work so you don't commit to impossible deadlines. And of course, again, completely obvious, practice. As someone once put it, the 8 steps to becoming a better translator. And that goes for using AI too, as we've been hearing. Another obvious marketing tip is being polite. Everything I'm saying is obvious because they're principles, values, and strategies that most of us already know because we heard them from the angel and then from our grandparents, parents, or maybe even the odd teacher. How many of us have had odd teachers? Yet again, precisely because they're obvious, we overlook them. And this is true of all we do, not just politeness, because psychologists call it inattentive blindness. And I think we all suffer from it by being oblivious or unaware of our habits or behavior and their possible consequences. We are so used to behaving in such a way or translating in such a way that we don't think our clients will notice or mind if we behave or translate the way we've always been doing so. After all, why should we change? We're the experts. Take it or leave it. But we don't always think in marketing terms and how we're losing out by this inattentive blindness. Here's another restaurant example. If your waiter or waitress has been efficient, helpful, cheery and chatty, we have no problem giving the tip, right? But when it's the sullen, sloppy, slow, I just want to get out of here character, we resent it, don't we? Yes, they may very well have been run off their feet or their girlfriend or boyfriend just left them, but why do we have to suffer? This, of course, is one of the perils of us working at home too, striking the right balance between professional and personal. Be careful. You might be one of those people who spend a lot of time complaining about the weather, the government, or 101 other things, but when you're communicating with your client, you must be positive and courteous. Clients can hear your attitude. No client is likely to be impressed that you missed his deadline because you had to go to your kid's birthday party in Gan, or your wife just had to send you shopping. It all sounds like the dog ate my homework. They're not interested in you, they're interested in them. And so should you be if you want them to come back to you. Again, know your capabilities and how much you can take on at any one time. If you're approaching your daughter's wedding or preparing a lecture for the ITA conference, don't think you can take on a heavy workload. Believe me, clients will appreciate your honesty more than you not meeting their deadline or pulling out halfway through because you thought you could do it on time. And you can always offer to find them someone else. There's enough wonderful translators here on the Zoom today. I made a mistake once. Well, more than once. My son was about to start long medical treatment, and I was determined not to let it affect my work so much. It didn't take long for me to realize, though, that there was no way I could work as normal. But I lost 2 very good clients because I thought I could do it when I couldn't, and I left them in the cold. However sympathetic and understanding they were, they haven't come back to me again. So politely saying no is also a perfectly viable option, as I'll talk about later when discussing unwanted clients. And in terms of being polite and marketing your attitude, there's no reason why we can't make a habit of being grateful. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't cost, and it doesn't take too much imagination to find reasons to be grateful. Thank you for your prompt payment. Thank you for your prompt response. Thank you for contacting me. Thank you for being a pleasure to work with. Thank you for your comments. That's all we're talking about. Giving people the very best. After all, they deserve it. They're putting the food on our tables. Credibility. It is always a plus when a waitress can give you a thorough explanation of what tikka masala is, or illustrate the difference between cannelloni and capellini. And a bit embarrassing when she can't. It's the same with us. To be effective and attract clients, we also need credibility and authority. We acquire these through experience, study, having worked for similar clients in a particular field, collecting testimonials, and here's another right under your nose tip. Keep your clients' thank you mails and ask if you can use them for promotional purposes. That is why it's also useful to garner expertise in a particular field, because you'll look stupid if you take on something you don't know the first thing about, like I did when I first tackled menus and medicine. As a beginner, I was keen to try everything people threw at me, but after both the menus and medicine found me just stringing together the words I'd looked up in the dictionary, I realized that both me and the clients would be better off using someone who was a little more gastro-oriented in both cases. Yes, it is different now with AI, but I still believe that if you have particular expertise, it is to your advantage. Show you know and understand what the client's needs are. All it takes are a couple of intelligent questions on that first phone call or WhatsApp, and answering questions about English or the subject matter with a tone of authority. Take yourself seriously, or at least what we do seriously. Because if we don't, then our clients won't either. Another tip, be accessible. Don't you just love those waiters that disappear after you've given them your order? We also have to be accessible. This is an age of instant response. I'm not saying your clients can wake you at 3 in the morning, but just be available, or at least respond as fast as you reasonably can. Even if we say, hi, I'm out all day, can this wait till tomorrow? They know you're on the case at least. But if a client can't reach you when they want to, they'll send the job to somebody else. Apart from being able to respond quickly, you can't respond if you don't hear. As I said, the waitress listened carefully to all my requests and fulfilled them to the letter. I'm on a non-milk products regime, so that wasn't so easy in a dairy restaurant. But with patience and a friendly manner, she helped me find something that addressed my needs. I'm sure you've all eaten out and they've brought you coffee instead of tea, or you specifically asked them to remove the olives and they didn't, or to flip your omelette, or whatever, and they don't do it. It's annoying. But when someone listens attentively to you, you are immediately attracted to them. It signifies respect, genuine interest, and connection. And everyone wants to feel needed. So what should we, as human translators be listening for? Well, I think an absolute minimum must be the following. Who is the translation for? This can be helpful when we're determining the register of our translation. Is it for academic? Is it for popular? Is it a religious audience, non-religious audience? What is the translation for? Is it going to be in an academic journal or marketing collateral? When is the translation for? The deadline, so we can pace ourselves. Are there any particular language requirements? Do they want it in English or in American, God forbid? Or another thing, particular style, certain terms. Do you want them translated? Do you want them transliterated? Is there an industry style? Do they have a style guide if it's a bigger company? And of course, as we've said before, who's the right contact for any queries you might have? You can also ask whether somebody else, another English speaker, will be editing your work, whether they expect you to work on particular software, and whatever you need to know. No question is ever too obvious. Ask. Your client will appreciate it. And listen for what's not said too. Sense any hesitancy, urgency, reservations about your qualifications, about the price, and know how to reassure. Another issue is genuine concern, which is also part of the bigger service mentality. When I was there at Kafit, they brought out the sunshades when they saw the sun was blinding the diners. Someone noticed my table was wobbly and immediately propped it up before I'd even said anything. And the extremely simple yet powerful gesture of filling my glass when they saw it was empty. Show that you care. Think in terms of a long-term relationship as opposed to a one-off client. Ask all the questions above. Be a Rosh Gadol, a big head. If you can see something that can be improved, suggest it. And be big on the little things, like translating a sentence here and there over email without charging extra, or dropping everything once and doing it on the spot for them. Be straight with your clients. Tell them what you can do for them, and be honest when there's something you can't. Your clients deserve your honesty and will appreciate you more for looking past your immediate interests to help them. He has a very interesting filtrum. Another thing we can do to market ourselves is smile. You don't get more under your nose than that. This goes with polite service, of course, but it is still one of the most underestimated tools in the workplace. We all want to work with happy people, people who enjoy their work and are passionate about quality, service, and the client's interests. A little bit of fun and humor doesn't hurt either, depending on the client, of course. Excitement, enthusiasm, how you answer the phone, how you communicate with email. Get yourself into a happy mood before you start work on that first project of the day. If you're enjoying what you're doing, it will also show in the quality and speed of your work. So make time to laugh every day. Another reason Kafit was good to me was price and added value. Restaurants, stores, services, in fact, we look for value for money in anything we buy. That's why premiums, free gifts, special discounts are all the rage. Even though we know perfectly well that the seller is not losing out, we like to feel as though we're getting a bargain, a good deal, value for money. And it's no different with translation. Apart from providing high quality work and a reasonable price, what else can we do to add extra value? At Kafit, they gave me my tea in a teapot instead of just 1 cup. So you feel like you're getting 2.5 cups instead of just 1 for the same price. They added a little chocolate biscuit with the tea as well. I didn't expect that. And then when they give you the bill, they give you a little wet wipe with it as well. These little things, they make a difference. That's good non-verbal communication. So what extra treats can we offer our clients that perhaps they don't expect? Again, here are a few right under your nose ideas, and I'm sure you've all got some of your own. Deliver more than we promise. For example, say I'll have the translation done by Thursday and get it done by Tuesday or Wednesday. Be flexible with our prices. but again, not to the point of losing out ourselves, like estimating word count and saying it's going to be approximately 700, 750 shekels, and keeping it to the lower end or even lower. And it's not nitpicking on a few extra shekels here or there if I've done an extra 50 words. Getting to know your discounts, something symbolic. Know your rate and know how low you're prepared to go and stick to it. And make sure if you're giving them a getting to know you or first time discount, make sure they know specifically that that's what you're doing and that it's only a one-time thing. And don't agree to the trap. Don't fall into the trap of agreeing to a ridiculously low price for a first job on the client's promise that there are hundreds of pages to come. Not once has that materialized in my experience. You can include 2 rounds of editing or proofreading in the price. We do that. We should do that anyway. But tell them that it's included in the price. Let them feel that they're getting more value. Offer to read it through once more before going to print. Again, this is in our own interest as well. I've found so many errors in texts I've translated just before they send it to print because someone at the client's end thinks they know better English, or the graphic artist has inadvertently cut off half a line here and there. Or gifts on birthdays, festivals, the sky's the limit. You're welcome to use your imagination. Remember, if we attribute enough value to the service we provide, the client will receive and perceive that value too. In addition, we'll feel more confident about our decisions, we'll make more money, and our clients will take us more seriously and will enjoy our work even more. So always add value to your service. For our clients to have a good feeling about us, we must have a good feeling about us as well. And here are a few more ideas to help us feel good about ourselves, and which will consequently bring out the best in us. SW is some will, some won't, so what? It's not necessarily a reflection of who we are. Just keep plugging away at all we've been saying, and the right clients will come. I believe there's enough work out there for all of us. And if we constantly strive to rise beyond mediocrity, we'll find the work, even if it means reinventing ourselves to accommodate AI. The others, again, so obvious. Not what you can get, but what you can give. And another thing, to constantly bring out the best in you, I suggest investing in ourselves, surrounding ourselves with inspiration, no clutter, having a comfortable workstation, and constantly growing and learning. Because if we don't, we're going to get stuck in our old habits, our inattentive blindness, and our mediocrity. Go to restaurants and observe. We can justify it as a work expense. And the same with other services we come in contact with, online or off. Do we like them? Why don't we like them? What can we learn from them in our own translation business? We can all think of examples of people who we like working with or people who we don't like working with and ask ourselves why. How can we adopt or enhance the qualities we so appreciate in others? The best investment is in ourselves to keep learning, growing, and practicing. Do we have time, Gillian, still?
I think we can take a couple of questions and then I think we really need to wind up. So, but go ahead.
I was just getting to dessert. Don't people want dessert?
I think it's question time. But,
no, because it usually comes with the bill.
Yeah. If you have something you want to add, please go ahead. Yes.
Denny, if I may.
Certainly, sir.
Just a quick question concerning the slide with the text titled Asking the Right Questions. You remember what this slide, what message this slide conveys, don't you?
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's find it again.
Yeah, it's well before the end of your presentation. And forgive me for hair splitting, but
no problem.
It occurs to me that this slide comes from some ideal world of pink ponies and Capricorns. The problem is that whenever you work with the agency, we have any type of intermediary between us and the client first. So most of these questions are totally futile. Second, even when we work with the direct clients, the consumer, so to say, of our translators, which is not necessarily the case, it happens quite frequently that our contact is a secretary or some individual, some
Yeah.
clerk, just shuffling the files back and forth without even knowing what the content of these files is, and they are unable to answer these questions first. They don't care about how important these questions are for us, and they directly influence what we do.
Right.
And third, quite frequently, especially when we work on technical documentation, there are several people between us and the end user of it. And
all justified, Eagle. Correct. Correct. If you can get answers to these questions, good. And if you can't, as you say, you have to make do with your own intelligence and the information you have.
Okay.
But a very good point, and yes, it's not as simple as I made it out to be. Thank you.
Okay, so a disclaimer should have been made, but nonetheless. And also one more thing, which I was puzzled about. You mentioned that the translators are involved in verbal and non-verbal communication.
Yes.
Sitting right, in front of our screens and just typing, making our daily bread. Now, I perfectly understand that we are involved in non-verbal communication because what we do is a written product. What about verbal communication? Did you mean that we do it when we market our services and have a direct verbal contact with our potential client?
Yes. I was speaking on the phone, speaking now over Zoom. The way we present ourselves in a verbal format. Yes, certainly. Yeah.
Once again, I envy you because you have a chance to speak with the client. These days, 99% of all the orders coming by email or sometimes even SMS.
Right.
So that's why I was so surprised.
I still have a lot of human clients that I enjoy speaking to, and yeah, thank God. And I'm glad
again,
I did.
I envy you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to join your skipped dessert.
Yeah.
Everybody is invited to a piece of cake. It's our wedding anniversary today.
Mazal tov. Mazal tov.
We met on the ITA Conference 16 years ago.
Translation can be romantic as well. Very good. So let me just finish then. I had something to say about unwanted clients, but we'll leave that out. People can ask afterwards. Let me just finish with a little story. That thousands of years ago in ancient India, it was believed that everyone who walked the earth was a god. However, humankind abused its limitless powers. So the king decided to hide the godhead, the source of all this potential, so no one could find it. But where could such a thing be hidden? The first advisor suggested it could be buried deep into the ground. No, replied the king. someone will eventually create an AI-powered tool to dig deep enough to find it. The second advisor said, what if we drop the Godhead to the bottom of the deepest ocean? No good, said the king. Someone will eventually create the AI technology to get there. What about putting it at the peak of the highest mountain? No, 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 said the king. Someone will make it there too. After thinking for some time, the king finally found the solution. I will put this Godhead, the source of all human power, potential, and purpose, inside the hearts of every man, woman, and child on the planet, right under their noses, for they will never think of looking there.
Perfect.
Very good.
Wow. Thank you, Danny. Have we got any more questions? Really inspiring, and we all enjoyed the break with the sense of humor. It's a long day, and it really adds to the amount of information and inspiration and ideas from you that we can integrate into our brains, absorb them today. Please, feel free if you have questions, if you have feedback, and you even just like to say thanks to Danny, that would be really lovely.
Very tasteful presentation.
Thank you. Pleasure to be of service.
And if anybody remembers anything they'd like to say to Sophia, we'd also like to thank her again before we close the session. We love having you, Sophia. Thank you. Yeah. So there's a lot of messages coming in on the chat. Yeah. So I think at this point we close the session. And Uri, if you would like to advise where we're going next, simply because I'm without a computer at the moment, and I'm just on my phone. So I'll
Next
say goodbye
session
now.
in 20 minutes.
Okay. So have a short break. Enjoy, everybody.
Go and eat dessert. Go and eat dessert, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. Good idea. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.